All right, we are back here wrapping up this week's podcast, keeping the pop culture train going as we enter the fall of 2020 coming up next week. Join me today, our pop culture correspondent, appearing for the 19th time. I did check the record books this week. The great Sam Derosa is here. Sam, how are you?
Good, 19. Lucky 19. That's exciting.
Yeah, number 3 on the all-time appearance leaderboard now.
Number 3. Man, I'm really falling behind.
Yeah, well, Joe D, who was on earlier this episode, is number 2. And, of course, the unofficial co-host, Will Schneiderhan, is number 1. He is far and away the leader.
I mean, I can't compete with Joe and Will, let's be honest.
Yeah, those two have been carrying the mail here in terms of appearances. You're climbing up that leaderboard. The pop culture year has been big for you.
I mean, I'm coming for you, Will. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, it's been a minute since he's been on, so we'll see if you can make up the gap over the next couple months.
Well, my fingers are crossed that I'll be asked back again.
Yeah, well, we'll see. I'm sure that's going to happen. And today, I mean, we are in the sports world. Football is back, and I have to say, we talked about this off air a bunch of times. It feels like the golden month of sports is finally here. It's so fun. It's also so overwhelming because there's so many different things on at once.
It's absolutely insane that there's going to be just so many professional sports happening all at once.
Yeah, I mean, like, just as of right now, we're recording, like, prior to the start of the NFL season, but you got the NFL season going. You have the baseball stretch run. The Mets are floundering. The Yankees are going down the tubes. They still might get in because the 18 playoff. You have the Islanders still alive as of recording. They're in the Eastern Conference Finals, although they may not be by the time we get to this recording as well. And we have the NBA bubble. We have the golf coming up. We have tennis. It feels like there's everything.
It's absolutely crazy, but I do want to give my congratulations to the Islanders. I know that means nothing from me, but for somebody who followed their entire season from 2011 to 2015, I'm just really happy that they've done so well this season.
Yeah, well, we're a little inside podcast here. We're recording on Tuesday, September 8th. They've lost Game 1 to the Tampa Bay Lightning in the Eastern Conference Finals. Who knows what it'll be like when this podcast gets out about a week from now?
Who knows? Hopefully all positive, winning vibes towards them right now.
Yeah, if they make the Stanley Cup final, and Pete Considori will be on the podcast next week, we're going to be talking Stanley Cup final then. Maybe we'll talk about the Islanders.
I hope that you guys get to talk about them.
Yeah, well, we're going to talk about Holy Moly as well. That's also something that's coming up on the podcast next week. The finale is coming up on Thursday. We're going to talk about that stuff as well. He's going to be pop culture guy next week.
Oh man, I'm actually DVR'd that so I can watch it on Friday morning.
Oh, you did pick it up.
Yeah, I haven't seen every single episode, but I've seen a handful, and it's funny. We used to watch in the control room at work.
Yeah, it's so funny because I used to that's actually how I picked up Shark Tank, because I used to watch when I was on ABC way back in the day interning. It was first coming out, and the sports anchor at the time loved that show. He put it on one of the TVs in the upper corner and keep an eye on it while we were keeping on the other games.
Hi, man, I like how other people have opened our eyes towards the Holy Moly Shark Tank universe there. Yeah,
the nice expanded universe. And before we get into the why you're here today, we're doing, which is going to basically be for TV shows a lot of times in the fall, they usually have the upfronts that give you an idea of what's coming. That's what we're doing today. We're going to give you the upfront look at what we're going to be doing on pop culture this fall. I want to give you condolences on your Jaguars because I do feel like it's going to be a rough year for you.
Yeah, I mean, what's it to be a Jaguars fan, honestly? It's just a bunch of misery and negativity, but we just try to grin and bear it through the whole entire season and hope for at least 2 wins.
And speaking of the Jaguars and former Jaguars, you see what Leonard Fournette said today on Twitter?
Actually, I did not. I've been very upset this past week after him leaving to go to Tampa Bay. But please, you can enlighten me and you'll get my real life in time reaction.
Yes, so I'm going to get to the tweet right here. For those who are unaware, Leonard Fournette, Jaguars running back, 4th pick in the 2017 NFL draft. He got cut prior to the season. He signed with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. He's going to compete for time in their backfield alongside Ronald Jones and some other backs there. And he did an interview today, and this quote comes courtesy of Jenna Lane on ESPN, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers reporter. Leonard Fournette said today, quote, "For the first time in my life, I really have a quarterback."
Ouch.
Shots fired.
100%. But I mean, honestly, like how Leonard Fournette's been with the Jaguars these past like 2 seasons at least, I feel like, as long as he's happy and he gets to still play football, that's the best hope I can have for him.
Yeah, well, now he's got Tom Brady there. We'll see if Tom Brady can get him over the top. But I don't think they play the Jaguars this year, so you don't have to worry about him coming back to haunt the Jaguars.
Yeah, they don't play them this year. I already checked.
At least the one bright side I would say for you Jaguar fans, I feel like you're going to have Trevor Lawrence at quarterback next year, and he'll make things a lot better.
I hope so, but you know me, I'm a big Gardner Minshew fan to the soul, basically. So honestly, we'll just see what where that train brings us as Jaguars fans.
Yeah, well, Trevor Lawrence, the one thing I will say in terms of the pop culture sphere that will get people rooting for him is like he is like the dead ringer for Sunshine from Remember the Titans. So that's also a good omen.
That is, because who doesn't watch Sunshine from Remember the Titans?
Yeah. Shout out to Alan Austin from last week's podcast when we talk about football pop culture. He said Remember the Titans was his all-time go-to football movie.
Oh, interesting. It's one of my favorites, too.
Yeah, he stole it from me. I was going to take Remember the Titans. I ended up just having to settle for the Hard Knocks season that just aired. The Charger-Rams season was very good.
I see that's on my list of things to watch.
Yeah. I would say if you watch any of them, watch episode 4. That was the episode where they dealt with the aftermath of the sports protests after the Jacob Blake shooting. We saw the Rams reacting to it. We saw the Chargers reacting to it. We got to go inside the locker rooms when the Chargers had the meetings to cancel the scrimmage. Like all sorts of great conversations coming out of that episode.
Interesting. I'll definitely have that on for top of my list.
Indeed. So let's go to the upfront portion here. We're going to talk about some stuff that's going on in the pop culture sphere and what we're going to be covering on the podcast here this fall. I'm going to start out here with number 1. Point out that, as I've mentioned with Alan before, if you are a fan of primetime TV, this is not the fall for you because a lot of it is not coming back on time. I mean, if you look at it, some of these networks, I think back in May, you remember this, they said, oh, here we go. We're going to start on time. Here's all our regular shows. But it's not happening. A lot of it is being patched by game shows, which we talked about last time you were on here, and reality TV. One of those is Dancing with the Stars. We're not covering that, but worth mentioning that former podcast subject Tiger King is going to be represented by Carol Baskin being on the show. What are your thoughts on this?
Oh boy, honestly, was what when you reached out to me off air a few weeks ago, I guess it was. Now I have no concept of time, everyone. That you're like, yeah, it's rumored that she might be on. And I'm like, no way in heck will they have Carol Baskin on. And then the thought was planted in my head. I'm like, they might do it. And I'm like, still, no, Sam, you're losing your mind. How can you feed into this rumor mill? And then literally it came out saying she's going to be on it. And I'm like, oh my God. Regardless, I don't think I'll catch a few episodes here and there. But honestly, I'm more speechless than anything else.
Number one, typical ABC be about 6 months late on this thing to get on the Carol Baskin train because I feel like I don't know how much momentum is left from Tiger King at this point. And number 2, if there is not a dance involving her doing Eye of the Tiger at some point, I feel like that's a major missed opportunity. Yeah,
no, that would be really, really funny. I bet you they're going to use her music. Her, how she has songs and stuff? Yeah. They'll definitely have that.
I will laugh if they make her partner dress up as Joe Exotic. I would die.
Oh my God. Oh my God. Yeah, that'd be really funny.
Yeah, it's nice waiting for her to come on the stage and just go, hey, you crazy cats and kittens, here's what we're going to do tonight.
Yeah, I just cringed at saying when you said that, so I can't even imagine the reaction I will have when she will, because I know she will. She'll definitely say that on live air.
Over under 3 weeks she lasts on the show.
You know what? I feel like she's going to take home the whole thing because she's Carol Baskin. She can get away with killing her husband. You know what I mean? She can get away with winning this show.
That's true. The threat of murder might appeal to some of these judges.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
All right, we'll put that to the side. We're not doing that. But there are a lot of game shows coming on in the fall. We're going to touch on a couple of them as they come on. I mentioned Pete next week's doing Holy Moly. We wrap the finale up. But one you and I are excited about, Supermarket Sweep on ABC. They recorded all 10 episodes. They are premiering the first episode on October 18th. I believe you and I are going to do the premiere of that on the podcast.
I'm very excited.
Yes, and have you seen any new information about the podcast? I know they put an article out on Entertainment Weekly this week with like footage from the show.
All I saw was that like 30-second tease of Leslie Jones doing supermarket sweep, but that was, in itself was awesome. It still had like the feelings of the, original version.
Yeah, I saw that. They had the little ding, 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 ding right from the supermarket sweep, like correct answer tone. They had that correct. One thing I was disappointed in, that they got rid of the sweaters that you would wear when you ran around the supermarket at the big sweep. I was disappointed they got rid of those.
I mean, I'm sure that's just because it's a 90s thing and it's a little dated. They probably had to revamp some things. I guess the sweater didn't make the cut.
The sweater was iconic, though.
I guess so. I mean, maybe to you and I, but maybe not to execs,
I think like I think it was like some color of smock they had on basically with the colors like for like 1, 2, and 3, but like I think they could have done something cooler.
Yeah, no, I definitely think it's just like what I guess at one point 90 supermarket employees wore. That's what I think they were going for. I guess they can't wear any Trader Joe's shirts nowadays.
Yeah, indeed. And we were speculating on what the prize would be. Turns out it's $100,000 you win if you win the big prize in an episode.
I feel like there's going to be some elbows thrown in this version of Supermarket Sweep.
I mean, for $100,000, if you're fighting over those turkeys, you could definitely see it.
Yeah, like everybody was so polite in the 90s, and now it's like 2020. Nobody gives a flying poop, so they're going to be throwing elbows, throwing those beach floaties around, and I guess if you saw the grill, somebody's going to be getting mowed over by that grill that's worth like, what, $300, the teaser said.
I couldn't believe that. And then I will put the link to this trailer in the show notes here, but like there's one point, and if you've seen the classic show, you know that they'll bring up like the inflatable green giant or like stuff for prize. When you see one of the contestants just dragging this fully assembled grill up to the front, I'm like, what is going on here?
Yeah, though that was very, very interesting. The woman seemed like she's having a hard time pushing it.
Yeah, just to clarify, this is what was going through my mind when I saw that.
What the hell's going on out
here? That was definitely going through my mind. And Leslie Jones, I did not get to see the full enthusiasm. I'm sure it's there.
Oh, yeah, except for at the very, very end. It's like, don't make me cry. Yeah. You got a little bit of a taste of Leslie Jones right there.
Yeah, I have gotten a bit of Leslie Jones like fever of late. I did go back and I watched after Chadwick Boseman passed away. I did watch his appearance on SNL in the Black Jeopardy sketch, and like she was an underratedly funny part of that sketch.
She's literally very, very funny. I was very sad when she left SNL.
Yeah, and once again, as you said a couple times in the podcast over the past month, R.I.P. to Chadwick Boseman.
Oh yeah, no, and for all his literal hard work and stuff, and I can't believe how much he went through to produce like these monumental films for our lifetime. It's just crazy.
It is pretty nuts, but
I literally couldn't believe it. Like I was at work and my manager was like, "He died." I was like, "No, he didn't. Like, there's no way he died and stuff." And so like, I literally was like, I'm still speechless. And they're like, "He had cancer," and I was like, "Did they know about it?" And they're like, "Yeah, he knew about it. He knew about it for years." And it just like, I have such respect for him.
Yeah, as I've mentioned on the podcast before, like this is like I think this came out on the same night that the news came out that Steve Cohen was the one who was going to buy the Mets. So like we're sitting there like as Met fans, and me and Martino Puccio and Will Schneider were celebrating our group chat, and then we see this on Twitter. It's like you just get punched in the gut, and it sucks.
Yeah, like, oh, and then did you see that like video that like came out saying like, "Oh, is there going to be a Black Panther 2?" And he like jokingly said like, "No, like he'll be dead or something."
Yeah.
And they're like, "That's not funny. Like you'd be dead." And then he just laughs it off, and I'm just like, that's so like haunting.
It is very haunting, and we'll get to more haunting in a minute. But I do want to stay on the network train for a minute. I do think it's the interesting with our game show discussion. There's so many of them out now on these channels. I think like ABC. I remember in the middle of July, I speculated with Alan on a different segment of the podcast. Said, you know what, like. They pulled all their summer game shows, and they're probably going to have to use them in the fall. And that's what's happening. I think there's a 3-hour block on Thursdays. I think starting a couple of weeks of game shows. Then they have another 2. They have the Supermarket Sweep and the Card Sharks coming back, and they have Millionaire coming back. Mm-hmm. If you are a game show fan, this is your time.
Yeah, no, 100%. Like I have everything up. with my notes now and like October 18th. I mean, like America's Funniest Home Videos leaves at 7, but a supermarket sweep at 8, 9 p.m. It's Who Wants to Be a Millionaire followed by Card Sharks at 10. Like that's an intense block right there.
And I'll admit I'm a guy who loves to like be exercising with the game shows on in the background. Like this is like my nirvana with that.
Yeah, I mean, the only thing I hate is when they put on the show, like game shows on Sunday, because like I want to go to bed early because I have work the next day. But I'm of course going to stay up to watch them.
Well, I just DVR them because usually like, I watch the Sunday Night Football game and then I go to whatever I want to watch the next day. That's usually how I time shift it.
That's good. I just like can't stay away from spoilers.
Yeah, well, I don't know where you're going to find spoilers on game shows, but
I mean, you know how Facebook tracks all your Google searches.
Oh yeah, that's true. The cyber stalking Facebook does is definitely a problem.
Yeah, so I have to stay off Facebook, which I know is dating myself as a millennial, but here I am.
Yeah, well, I feel like the millennials just have the Facebook just to, like stay in touch with like family members and cousins. They don't really do it to like stay relevant with friends.
Yeah, that and watch like some weird videos too. I've seen the weirdest stuff, and I'm sucked in that like black hole of weird Facebook videos.
Yeah, Facebook is now self-promotion, weird videos, and I want to say the third thing is just like absurd amounts of Republican love.
Oh, yeah. Thankfully, that doesn't come across my page, but I know that it's out there.
It comes across mine, trust me.
Oh, no, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I'm not gonna name names. We're gonna move on here, and I will say, the reality TV is also a popular thing. If you like Masked Singer, that's gonna be back. The Big Brother All Stars, I might stay away from that one. That's not getting to be very fun. But my favorite show, that's coming back, Amazing Race. I want to do this someday. I'm excited that after 2 years, these poor folks who filmed that season get to actually watch it on the air.
See, that's great. But you're missing my favorite reality trashy TV show.
What's that?
The Bachelorette.
Well,
coming back.
They are back.
Tuesday.
I heard there's behind the scenes drama with that.
I'm so excited. It's like my most guilty show that I watch, if I used English correctly for that sentence.
It's the guilty pleasure.
Oh my God, it's so guilty. Like, I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe I watched this, but I can't stop watching.
Yeah, I mean, the great John Stanga, also a fan of the Bachelor franchise. So next time he's on, I'll ask him his take on the Bachelorette and what he's looking forward to this season.
Oh, you'll have to pass that along for me.
Yeah, I'll send you the link when he's on. We talk about that.
Perfect.
Another thing of note in the entertainment sphere, the movies are back. New York does not have the movie theaters open yet, but there are movies coming out. Tenet is out. I do plan on getting to that at some point in the fall. Once the theaters are open here, I can go drive in, check it out, because I'm trying to be a socially responsible adult.
Oh no, I'm saying that's a good thing. Being a socially responsible adult, more people have to be that way.
Yeah, so that's on the list. We're gonna get to that eventually. Black Widow, I think, is going to be on the list as well, depending on what Marvel's re-strategy is. I suspect that they're going to end up doing that on the Disney Plus premiere thing and give themselves 2 shots at the money.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how that goes.
Because I feel like I want to see it, but it's one where I'm not dying to run to the theater and see it.
Exactly, I'm the same way.
I feel like there's a lot of them that are this way. Is there anything on that comes in a theater where even in a normal time, so you can say, "Ooh, I have to go run and see that."
For me now,
yeah,
probably this season, the only thing I really want to go see in theaters, but again, because I want to be socially responsible, I might not go see, but I really want to see the Wonder Woman 1984 movie.
Yeah, I'm interested to see how that sequel follows, because I feel like the whole DC universe sort of changed in the times since Justice League came out.
Exactly, and I'm very, very interested to see how Kristen Wiig does. Just out of pure curiosity, she's an excellent artist. I just am very just curious. And then there's a movie on the Rocks with Rashida Jones and Bill Murray that I'm interested in, and then also Antebellum, which says it's supposed to be premiering September 18th, but I never know what's gonna happen with that one.
Yeah, I knew you'd be on the Bill Murray movie, so that's not a shock to me. No love for the Bond movie? No love for the Bond movie?
Oh, yeah, true. I always forget about that, too. I try to, See, this is why I couldn't get to the Bond movie without mentioning the Candyman, which I'm very interested to see as well, to see if that will come out on the 16th.
Yeah, that's all kind of in flux right now because who knows what comes out when Christopher Nolan basically just forced Tenet into the theaters to make sure that he could get people back in. And I mean, from what it sounds like people went, which is nice if you're a theater owner. But like, the thing I don't understand in New York is like, you can go to a casino right now, but you can't go to a movie.
Yeah, and then if you, like, for us, we're only, like, 45 minutes away from the Connecticut border, not even. And, like, we can go see a movie there. So, like, it doesn't make any sense.
That's the one thing I don't get because like, if the tri-state was all in unison about it, you say, okay, I understand it's a regional thing, but like, if people want to see a movie and they're 45 minutes away from Connecticut, they're going to go to Connecticut, and they're going to take the risk in Connecticut. They're not going to take the risk in here. So I feel like the safer move would be, you know what, let's find a way to come up with a safe standard to do this and not just leave the theater owners like wallowing and then send all the customers out of the state, and they can bring the virus back in there if you're concerned about that.
Exactly.
Yeah, well, that's something that the governor has to decide what he wants to do with that, but we'll leave it there. John Stanko and I'm going to try and get a hold of him. I want to talk to him about his projections for the fall movies and see which ones he's intrigued by. Because I know his tastes also tend to differ from ours sometimes.
Yeah, me and him have very different tastes in some aspects.
Yeah, recently I actually had him on a couple weeks ago. We talked about how he grades his movies, and he did have some interesting thoughts on that.
Yeah, no, I actually took his suggestion in watching The Portrait of a Lady on Fire, if I'm saying that correctly, and it was actually super awesome, and I probably wouldn't have watched it without his recommendation, via Twitter, of course.
Yeah, John, like, when I did him on the podcast, like, he also helped me rearrange my movie queue, and the order he's put it has been very satisfying. I did watch Joker recently. I just got to that. That was a fun take. It came right after I watched the Apollo 11 documentary. That was also enjoyable.
See, I have a weird vendetta about space movies, but that's like a personal thing.
Yeah, well, the documentary was very cool. I'll give them this. It was basically like found footage that they had of like the actual Apollo 11 mission, and they basically upgraded to 21st century standards and just basically did it like Cinema Verite style, where there was no narrator. They showed you as it was happening. So it was pretty cool.
Oh, that does sound pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a crisp 90 minutes. I'll give it a watch.
All right, 90 minutes. I can do that.
Yeah, it's definitely a lot of fun. Definitely some eye-popping visuals. John Stanko on the movies is definitely a target audience thing here for the fall. Another thing here, we're going to go talk a little Netflix. What Netflix stuff you looking forward to for the fall?
You know me. I'm very excited for The Haunting of Hill House. Well, I guess it's just The Haunting of Bly Manor, but the, Haunting series on Netflix, that's what I am super psyched for. And then I'm super psyched for Unsolved Mysteries.
Part 2.
There's part 2 already. This is great. This is awesome.
Yeah, I don't know if we're going to get...
Not visuals involved, of course, but for my viewership.
Yeah. We're definitely going to hit on Haunting of Bly Manor. For the uninitiated, can you explain the premise of The Haunting of Hill House and where the original show is based off of?
So it's about a family who moves into this really expansive mansion, and then the parents they go into houses, fix them up, and then resell them kind of deal. And then this house is actually haunted and revolves around one singular room, and then it goes into how the house, the individuals inside the house, and it is so awesome. There's one episode where it's done in 4 takes, and each episode is an hour long. So they're 20-minute takes, just singular takes, which is blowing my mind. It's awesome. But then one of my favorite parts about the series is the different ghosts that hide in the background that you don't notice. So it gives you this subconscious somebody's watching you, which is amazing. It's something that wasn't done before, at least to my knowledge, of course. I'm not all knowing, so I'm just very excited to see what they're going to be doing with this season.
Yeah, just to be clear to the audience here, The Haunting of Hill House is great. You should watch it, but it is a self-contained story. The Haunting of Bly Manor is like a spiritual sequel where it's a new story. They have new characters, but they are bringing back some of the cast members from the first season. They're playing different characters. I think it's pretty cool.
Which is awesome. I hope, what's her face? The mom is in it. Crud. I think of her as a Spy Kids mom. I'm so horrible. Carla something.
I don't know if she's in there. I know that a couple of the actors who play the adult children are in the series at playing different characters.
Yes, I'm just still excited. I just love the storytelling that the creators brought to the table from the first season. So I'm just really excited what's going to happen. And when does it, like, it premieres in a couple of weeks in October. So
it premieres mid-October, and around Halloween. Keep your ear out for that.
Definitely. I won't sleep for days.
I probably won't either. And we're also going to talk this year. We're going to go extensively into The Mandalorian Season 2 on Disney+. I cannot wait for that. That drops October 30th. Expect plenty of Mandalorian coverage here coming up.
Oh, I'm very excited. More Baby Yoda. I know that's not the character's name for all those haters out there, but I love saying Baby Yoda. I'm excited to learn more about The Mandalorian, and I was not expecting it to come, the Season 2 to come so quickly.
Yeah, the people don't realize Season 1 was great. Apparently, they actually filmed Season 2 in secret without telling anybody, and then they had it ready to go, and they're pre-producing Season 3 right now. So they are very all in on The Mandalorian.
Their team is so good with secrets. Like, you know what I mean? Like, nothing leaked out about Baby Yoda. Nothing leaked out about Season 2. And they mentioned that Season 3 is being filmed, but, like, if nothing leaks out about that, they have some, like, good people working on that show.
Yeah, one thing that's underrated about this show is they bring in very talented directors for the show. I was watching the docuseries about the behind the scenes, and for The Mandalorian, I mean, Jon Favreau's the EP on that show, but, like, Dave Filoni, who did the Clone Wars series, like, he's on there. They brought Bryce Dallas Howard in to direct an episode. Taika Waititi, who I love, directed the finale, and it was great. They have a good mix of directors coming in again this year.
Well, you always hope that the second season can follow up to the first, so that's my fingers crossed for that.
Yeah, and there are rumors there are some actual, popular Star Wars characters entering the mix. There's rumors that Boba Fett's gonna appear. There's a rumor that Ahsoka Tano from I'm probably butchering the name, but from Clone Wars is gonna be on the season. Mm-hmm. There's a lot. Good stuff.
I feel like Boba Fett is supposed to be in everything. I feel like everyone's like, oh yeah, Boba Fett's going to be in this one, and this one, and this one, and Boba Fett never is.
Yeah, maybe we get a Boba Fett origin a little bit this movie, in this series. Okay. So he's one I'm definitely keeping an eye on. We're going to do, it might be episode by episode on this thing, but it is going to be plenty of Mandalorian coming.
I'm very excited, and hopefully I get to be a part of the Mandalorian content.
You will be definitely in the mix for that. John Stanko will probably be in the mix for that. Some other people who have not disclosed yet are going to be in the mix for that. So plenty of Mandalorian. We're basically keeping an eye on that. I was going to keep my ear on HBO because HBO is the king of producing original content. One thing I know for sure I'm going to do, I don't know who I'm doing it with yet, is the documentary on Craig Carton and the fall of Craig Carton. That's intrigued, coming October 7th. I'm intrigued by that.
Oh, that sounds really awesome.
Yeah, because I'm trying to keep track of what's going on. Next time I talk to John Stanko, I will definitely get his recommendations for HBO content to cover because he also seems to be on the forefront of the HBO stuff.
Yeah, he is. And, it's funny because I wanted to start Lovecraft Country, from the beginning. But, of course, I missed the premiere week. So now I have to wait till it's over to start it because I need to digest things all in full or, starting week 1. I'm very annoying when it comes to, binge watching things. But I'm so excited to start that series.
Yeah, I've heard nothing but good things. And John himself has said nothing but good things about Lovecraft Country.
And then I took your recommendation and I watched the documentary McMillions.
Yes. How did you like it?
That was awesome. That was really awesome.
Yeah, I remember I talked about this with John at the time. The crazy thing about that was just, the amount of crazy people they found in this thing. And actually, we're going to talk on this documentary were incredible.
Right? And also, just, how he got away with, all that stuff. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And then there were some twists and turns, the entire time. No way, this can be crazy. Get even more crazy. But then again, this whole thing was based out of Florida. So, honestly, it's not that big of a surprise, I guess, if you look at it that way.
Yes, that is definitely true. Not that big of a surprise, but those are some of the things we have going on coming up in the fall ahead of... I'm planning, hopefully, to do the Pop Culture Year in Review 2 with you and John Stanko once again, if you are interested.
Oh, 100%. Hopefully this year I will be more equally versed with Stanko. That is my personal goal.
Yeah, because we've done this twice before with John. The second time Austin tagged along for the baseball movie draft, but I think that was such a hit we have to try it again.
Oh, definitely. I'm very excited.
All right, so that's a little teaser what's coming up in pop culture this way. It may not be every week. Maybe I might take a week off here and there, but these are the things that are in the hopper. And thanks for helping me do the upfront presentation, Sam. We did get that out in the record now, so people have an idea what's coming.
Very excited.
If people want to follow you on social media, how can they keep up with you?
Oh, yeah, you can find me at Twitter at SDEROS. I see this is what my problem is. I can never remember my Twitter handle. Let's talk about it. I'm probably a social media person ever, but I'm on all social media platforms. Literally Google Sam Derosa. I'm not any kind of verified person. That's the famous singer. But other than that, I'm always on Twitter, where you can follow me SDEROS5. I'm on Instagram at SDerosa175. And then Facebook, nobody wants to see you on Facebook, so that's what I'm
Yeah, let's leave the Facebook out of that. Nobody cares on Facebook.
Yeah, no, don't look at my old high school photos. I'm a different hair color person, so.
So the Twitter and the Instagram, that's the place to follow you.
Definitely. And I only view TikTok. I don't have TikTok.
All right, so don't try the TikTok either.
Yeah, though I have that inkling to try it. So who knows? Who knows? Next time you might talk to me, I might have a TikTok. Who knows?
We will see. All right, Sam. Thanks for all the time. Really appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.